What if I told you that the only thing making black people good parents is the fact that they were scared of white people?
That's racist!
Would you call me a racist for saying that? I'm sure you would, and you'd be right to do so. Now here's the kicker. I'm not saying that. No, as a matter of fact, it's someone that called Charlie Kirk a racist that said that. See, Charlie Kirk in his Jubilee video argued that black people statistically were better off in the 1950s, which was grossly misinterpreted as him saying that black people being suppressed was better, which is remotely not even close to what he was saying. And that conversation led to this one. Were black men more present in their households because of fear of white people? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
That's racist!
He admits it over and over again. He accuses Charlie Kirk of lying but can't back it up, suggesting that this is all just dishonesty, fear-mongering, and oppression, while simultaneously saying that's what made black families stronger.
That's racist!
This is the most jaw-dropping, self-contradictory conversation I have ever had. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Why don't you be the judge? Let's get into it. Zay, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Good morning. I'm 39.
All right, bro. Why did you hate Charlie Kirk?
I didn't necessarily hate Charlie Kirk, and I don't really hate anybody. But I did dislike Charlie Kirk. I didn't agree with pretty much anything that he had to say for the most part. Well, especially when it came to politics. So I think he generally framed things in a very honest, and I think a lot of the debates weren't necessarily in good faith. And I think he said a lot of things that he does things like other people do, where he tells half-truths and that are patently false when you talk about the conclusions where we inevitably end up at, which is the truth. So yeah, that's pretty much my viewpoint. Again, I don't think he deserved to be unalive for his opinion or anything like that. But it just kind of goes to show, and somebody said this, like, just because you pass away doesn't mean it kind of erases how you lived, or, you still carry that on into, the living still carry it on, how you lived. So, yeah, that's pretty much my little synopsis there.
Okay, so what did he say that made you dislike him?
He mentioned plenty of things. Again, you might disagree with it. It's, some of the popular stuff when he was speaking about DEI policies, the history of kind of the civil rights, and how African Americans ended up in a lot of the situations that we find ourselves today.
I'm looking for a specific example,
Okay, like the 1350 theory, I guess you want to call it that, or the 1350 idea that he liked to kind of.
What's this 1350 idea?
It's the idea that 13% of the population, which is considered the black population, are committing 50% of the unalivings in the country.
Okay, so what he said on Jubilee.
Yeah, he said on Jubilee. He's mentioned it a couple times, and other things as well.
Okay. If he was right about what he said, would you dislike him?
If he was right?
Yeah. Like if those statistics were true, hypothetically, like he provided those statistics and they were actually true, would you dislike him?
That's not the only thing, but if he presented that and other things in a more honest way, then, yeah, I probably would like him. Charlie Kirk didn't pop up on my radar. I follow politics closely, and he's debated people before, like Kyle Kalinske.
Well, you kind of jump into another point. You brought up that specific point of the 13% to the 50% incarcerated. If that statistic was true, would you dislike him for bringing it up?
If it was true, I probably wouldn't dislike him. If it was true, then I would just analyze the data deeper.
Okay, so then I think you kind of have a burden here to show me that he didn't believe it was true.
I have a burden to show you that he didn't believe it was true?
Yeah. Because people can be, do you dislike people for being mistaken about things?
No. Here's the thing. And I genuinely believe this and his idea that he brought up that specific statistic to support an argument that, and he goes more into depth when saying this, saying like black fathers are, the reason this is happening is that black fathers are absent in the homes of their children.
That is true.
What?
black fathers are notoriously absent in homes.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, that is true.
No, I'd squarely have to disagree with you there. And I know you got your people looking up those numbers, but yeah. In fact, actually, out of all the demographics, I think the statistic shares that black fathers are the most present in their children's lives.
Well, let's look it up.
Okay. I'm not in front of my computer. I'm just doing my daily stuff, watering my garden, doing my regular daily stuff. So
I'm not gonna lie to you when I look it up. Like,
yeah, for sure.
if it says the opposite, I'm just gonna concede. Like, I don't want black people to not be fathers. That would be terrible.
While we're also, I guess, waiting for that information to populate, there's a funny thing with statistics and studies, and where I think he was disingenuous regarding the 1350 idea and the.
Hold on, just as soon as you started talking, it all came up. So,
Okay.
Black or African Americans percentage of in single parent families is 53%. White is 24%. Hispanic is 39%. Overall, races is 34%. This comes from datacenter.aecaf.org. Locations for the United States. There you are, right there. And just based off, like, if you just use that kind of conclusion there, right? In prison systems, most people in prison systems are fatherless. Like, that's 80%. Pew Research Center also comes in and says 44% of black fathers versus 21% of white fathers. CMC says it's 72% of black mothers are single. And I wouldn't say it's that high. So, yeah. So I recently learned from the Hassan video that you could just use your pets as props to make money. So if you want to see Bert here get treats and fed and all the happiness, make sure you subscribe to my Patreon. But in all honesty, that was a pretty terrible video, and you should never use your pets as a prop just to grow your business. But if you do want to support my channel and help it grow, you can support us on Patreon. Over there, we're offering a daily Bible study where we're currently going through the Gospel of John. We're also offering exclusive content, and you'll be able to watch the Hangout Lives that are only available for members. So if you want to help with that, link is going to be down below. But without further ado, back to the video.
Yeah, what I was going to say too, and this is what I mentioned was a CDC study, but what I was going to mention too is, like, when we talk about these things too, when we present certain data facts and certain information to kind of support our arguments, I think he presented those arguments in bad faith and disingenuously to support the idea that, hey, these people, and I've had these debates with other people too, and it always comes down to
right. But that's the question I asked you. That's the question I asked you to do at the start. And then you tried to shift the topic. Was I said, if you want to say that you dislike him for bringing up these statistics, then you need to show me that he knew that they were false. So you're saying now you think he brought him up disingenuinely, dishonestly. You have to. That's a burden of proof. You have to show me he didn't believe those statistics.
I think that he's well aware that those statistics are false.
Based off what?
That he's bringing up.
Based off what?
Based off of, well, his debates and the tactics that he would employ into these debates, and I just find it concerning.
But that's not data, my friend. That's just saying, based off the way I think he speaks, he should know, and I know he's different. So, I'm assuming, and this is just a guess. I can't say for certain, but I would guess that if Charlie Kirk was still alive and somebody came up and challenged him on these statistics, he would be able to defend. Which he would be able to defend his position on it. Now you're just saying that, well, he's clearly being dishonest and lying. You need to back that up.
Okay, well, I'll say this. I joined at a very, I guess, exposed point. I'm not in front of my so-called data center to bring these supporting points up and facts to you right off the top of my head. I just came across your page, and I just, kind of hopped in here. And what I don't have the proof per se to give to you, which would be kind of difficult to produce, to show you that, hey, this guy was actually disingenuously presenting these ideas about the black community. And showing you that particular proof. And actually, it'll be kind of difficult to do that, but I think I'll be up to the task to do such a thing. But what I would say too is that I just, and I didn't like him for this reason, because it wasn't like he brought up these statistics to actually solve the issue or whatever, because that when
he brought up these statistics because they were specifically talking about affirmative action in that scenario. So they were specifically talking about Black communities, and that's a very good context to bring up these kind of statistics.
Right, and even with affirmative action and DEI policies, I I think he was disingenuous in saying that.
Okay, but you thinking is a pretty wild take. Like, I just feel like he was dishonest. There's not a good reason to conclude that somebody is dishonest.
Well, fine. When he presented the idea, or he thinks the idea that Black families were better off before the Civil Rights Act was passed than they are off now, is kind of a, I feel like an oxymoron kind of thing. It's like people who didn't have the same rights as everyone else, or not everyone else, the general population under the Constitution, were better off now that they do have rights and are seen as equal.
What the hell are you talking about?
Is a bit insane to me. Like I said, he said that Black families were better off prior to the Civil Rights Act being passed back in the 1950s. This is another argument he presented in his Jubilee video and other smaller debates he had going forward.
Because I've heard him say that there's a lot of good things in the Civil Rights Act that should be implemented. Like, he specifically said that he thinks that bringing equality to people is a good thing in the Civil Rights Act. You sent it to me? Okay.
This shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. I mean, 4,000 Black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
If that's your explanation, but I guess
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse than it has been
that affected
in the last 80 years.
The generational psyche of an entire group of people?
No, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just going to show.
Yeah, so even if I just take that clip out of its context, he's not saying what you're saying he's saying. Like,
what do you think he's saying?
He's just saying that Black families were doing better in general. He's not saying that they weren't suppressed. He's not saying that they weren't treated as equals. He's not saying any of those things. He's just saying statistically they were doing less crimes and their families were more two-parent households. That's all. Like, I'm not even putting it in its context. If I just take it out of its context, he's definitely not saying Black people were better before they had equal rights.
Why do you think they might have been doing less crimes?
That's irrelevant. He's just saying that's a fact.
It is relevant, and I think at that point when you present something like that, yeah, it is a fact. Like, hey, Black people were doing less crimes in the 1940s.
Well, he's also saying that they had more families, like more family units, right?
But again, why do you think that was the case?
That dads weren't leaving the homes? I don't know. Why?
Probably because they didn't have equal rights. They had to kind of settle down. What does
equal rights have to do with the dad leaving the home?
Again, they had to settle down and kind of buckle in against the tyranny that was facing them along the way, the lynch mobs.
So you think dads were more present for their children because they were scared of white people?
I think that's one reason. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's a wild take to me.
How is that crazy or a wild
I'd be very curious to hear the psychology on why fathers want to be more of a parent because they're scared of white people. That's the conclusion that you're coming to.
No, it's not the conclusion. It's the conclusion that you drew.
It kind of
that's what you said.
No, that's not what I said. You asked me, and I said that's one reason. Yes.
Yeah. So you're saying that dads are more parents because they're scared of white people. How am I getting that wrong?
Okay, that's one of many reasons. The socioeconomical.
I'm not saying it's the only reason. I'm saying they're more of a parent, right? You're saying if they weren't scared of white people, they'd be less of good fathers. That's the argument you're making. So your argument is more racist than my argument.
That is one element. How's that more racist? What are you talking about?
Because you're saying black people can't be good fathers without being scared of white
That's not what I'm saying. That's the same.
You're saying that as a factor.
That's the same idea as Charlie Kirk. It's the same tactic that Charlie Kirk levied.
That's literally a factor that you're providing. You're saying that they're going to be better fathers because they're being scared of white people. That's literally what you're saying.
You're trying to twist the narrative here and put words into my mouth. I didn't say that.
Okay, I'm gonna try to steelman your argument. And you tell me what I got wrong.
You don't have to steelman it. I could just tell you.
One of the things that Charlie Kirk said was that they'd be better off as they'd have like more parents in the house home back then. And you asked me what is one of the reasons I think that is. I said I don't know, and then you explained it as because they were afraid of the suppression that they were getting, so they had to fear. So they had to buckle down and get into it. So the logical conclusion there is that the fear of white people and their suppression made them be better fathers.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What am I getting wrong then?
Okay, so in this instance, when you are a black person who existed, who lived in, well, first of all, my father, for example, born in 1964, was a lot closer to his family. One reason is because right after the Civil Rights Act was passed, they were a more closely knit family because they felt like they had to protect each other more from the societal fears of, well, needless to say, white people. White people would bully them, abuse them, him and his brothers, my uncles, along the way when they went to school. When I say buckle down, I just mean, hey, they felt the need to be more guarded.
Right, so they felt the need to be in their household?
Say again?
They felt the need to be in their household around their children?
They felt the need to provide more protection, like you can't let...
Okay, be better fathers?
Again, I'm not saying that be better fathers. I'm saying being close.
Who's a better father? The guy who leaves the guy who leaves the household and doesn't provide for the family, or the guy who stays in their household and provides for the family? Who's the better father?
No, you're providing two extreme examples. Again,
I'm just asking a question. Who's the better father?
And I'm answering it. And so... society would dictate. Obviously, the person is not present.
I'm asking you who's the better father.
Obviously, the father that's not present more would likely.
Okay, so your argument is they're present more. They're present more because they're not afraid of they're not as afraid, or sorry, they're less present now because they're not as afraid of like the racial divide or the racial pushes that are happening. Correct? Well,
I'll present another scenario to you to answer that question.
Just answer the question. Are they less present now, or were they more present then because they were afraid of white people?
That's not the only reason, but that's one factor.
Okay, so that is a factor. So then you are literally saying there is a factor that makes black people better dads is being scared of white people.
No. Not better, present.
You just said it.
Is being present better or worse? You keep trying to put the better or worse.
Is a present father better than a non-present father?
More than likely.
Okay, so a present father is better.
But again,
therefore they're better.
I see what you're trying to do. You keep trying to whittle it down to this.
I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just coming to your logical conclusion. I gave you the scenario.
Well, let me present you with another logic here.
Okay.
If you grow up on the streets or an area that's more prone to violence and you're more in a highly concentrated area that has a lot of violence that happens in your neighborhood or whatever, are you going to be more present and more aware of, hey, maybe my child shouldn't be out here?
I'm not disagreeing with you that if you have
that's the only thing I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. 100%, right? If you're scared of the community around you, you're probably going to gather into identity groups to be protected, to be more secure. But the problem with that is you're telling me that the reason that they're less present and being less of fathers is because they were afraid.
I'm saying that's one factor, yeah.
A factor to being a good father in the black community, according to you.
No.
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, I see where you're going, but
it doesn't matter if you see what I'm going. I'm going to finish.
Go ahead.
Okay, I've let you speak. A factor, it's not the only thing. I'm not talking about totality, but the fact that black men are less scared of going out in society now means they're less present at their homes. This is your argument, not my argument. This is what you're saying. This is not what I'm saying.
That's not what I'm saying, but go ahead.
But how is that not the logical conclusion? You literally told me that they are more present in the home back then because they were scared of white people. What did I get wrong?
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the safety factor.
Just answer the question. This is going to be a true dichotomy to see if you're being honest. Were black men more present in the home back then because they were scared of white people? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Being more present in the home is a better fatherly quality. Yes or no?
Yes.
So there is a quality that makes them better parents by just logical conclusion here is fear of white people.
That's a factor. Yes.
Okay. That's racist.
How is that racist?
Because you're saying that if black people were more scared of white people, they'd be better dads.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That is the logical conclusion.
No, you keep arriving there, and I'm not saying that.
I just went through the premises, and you agreed with the conclusion. You arrived there.
No, I didn't arrive there. Again, you keep arriving at the conclusion. You keep putting words in my mouth that I didn't say, or even alluding to.
Chat. Is that what he said, or is that not what he said? That is the logical conclusion out of his premises.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're employing the same tactics that, again, Charlie Kirk did.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that's wrong to say that. I'm saying it's wrong to say, hold on, that's not, you're trying to put me in that category now. I'm saying it's wrong to say that black people will be better parents because of fear of white people. That's a terrible.
Yeah, again, I'm not saying that.
But that is your logical conclusion.
You keep saying that. I'm not saying that.
That's your logical conclusion.
I'm saying that black fathers back then in the we're talking about prior to civil rights back in the 1950s and compared to today. I'm saying one of the factors, the reason why black fathers were closer to family and their children was because the safety factor. It wasn't safe for them to go outside and be on their own, so they had to be closer. You literally just said
they were closer to the children because they were afraid of white people.
Yes, because they were afraid of white people.
So that made them better fathers. Them being afraid of white people made them better fathers.
I'm saying they were a lot closer and present. That's all.
Being closer and present with your children is a good parental quality.
I'm not saying that they were better or worse, because in some cases, being close to your children for people end up being bad. It ended up being worse because they were abusive for one reason or another. But again,
there's no data that shows they were abusive back then.
You keep trying to whittle it down to me being racist, because I didn't say that. I didn't say they were black fathers were simply better because they were in fear of white people.
No, you're not saying those exact words, but that is your logical conclusion.
You're saying they're more.
No, it's not my.
They were scared.
It's not my logic.
You're saying black fathers are more present in households with their children because they were scared of white people.
No, I'm saying back in the 1950s.
Hold on, is that wrong? In the 50s? Yes or no? Hold on, just yes or no. In the 1950s, were black men more present in their households because of their fear of white people?
That's one factor, yes.
No, yes or no?
No, it's one factor. Yes.
Just yes or no.
Again, you keep trying to simplify it.
It's a simple dichotomy.
You keep trying to simplify my position, and it's much more complicated than that.
Yes, that's fine. There's more nuance, and there's more things that are happening, and there's a whole bunch of lists of things. It's not. Again, I agreed with you. It's not a totality of things. It's just a conclusion. It's just a factor that may raise the meter. Might be this much, but it still raises the meter. Just a yes or no question. Were black men more present in their households because of fear of white people? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So then there's a quality that raises their ability to be a father.
No, yes? It's not their ability to raise and be present.
So hold on. Are you going to be a better father if you're in the household or if you're out of the household?
You're more than likely to be a better parent if you are present in your household.
Okay, so that raises the quality of them being better parents, yes?
Yes, the chances are.
Okay.
Yes.
So then logical conclusion is what you are saying is that the fear of white people made black people better parents.
I don't agree. No.
Then you're an idiot.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we arrived at the name calling portion because we don't agree.
Look, I'm not just trying to call you names. We went through each step together and we came to the conclusion together. And then when I didn't change anything of what I just said. I just summarized it and then you said no. if you go through the premises yourself and then come to the conclusion yourself together as a team, and then I tell you, okay, well then that's the summary of it, and then you say no, by definition you're an idiot.
No, you're trying, again, you keep trying to simplify this down to what you're trying to push me into this corner, and I get the debate tactic, and that's fine.
It's not a debate tactic. It's just the logical conclusion. I just thought it was wild that you said that.
It is absolutely a debate tactic, because I said that's one of many factors. And again, I keep presenting the safety element, of which a lot of black people weren't safe to go around in normal society because of the racist factor that was occurring back then. People were being lynched. Black people were being brutalized by white people. It's only a natural thing. It's only a natural thing to want to be more present to protect your family, to be present to protect your people from the normal society that
right. So fear of white people made them better parents.
Say again.
Fear of white people made them better parents.
Fear of white people made them more present parents,
which is a better quality.
Yes, absolutely.
So fear of white people made them better parents.
Not being present would have put those children and the rest of the family in a much worse situation.
Right. So
yes.
being afraid of white people made them better parents.
Sure. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's racist.
Wait. How is that racist?
Because you're saying that the fear of white people makes black people better parents, more present in the household. We just went through the statistics, right? So it's way higher that black men are not present in the household with their children. And you're saying for them to be better parents, they need to be scared of white people.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You keep arriving at that conclusion, and that's not what I'm saying.
The only reason they were present, or not the only reason, I guess, but a large reason, was because they were scared. That's it.
No, I didn't say a large. I didn't say a large or only reason. I said that was a factor in the reasons why those families were closer, because they were absolutely scared of white people.
Wild.
How was that wild?
We keep going full circle because you keep admitting it's true, and then you keep saying it's not true. So, are you going to add anything new to the argument? He's been voted off.
I'll just ask.
You've been voted off the island, my friend. I appreciate your time. God bless.
Adios.
But that's exactly what happens in the video too. Is he goes, they were committing less crimes back then. And she goes, well, why do you think that is? Because of slavery, and that implies that the only reason they weren't committing crimes is because they were in slavery. I'm like, well, if there's no slavery, then they're going to commit crimes. That's racist.
That's a more wild take to me. It's like, yeah, they were committing less crimes back then. Well, why weren't they committing crimes? Because, well, they were afraid of white people. Like if the only thing that's stopping you from being a good parent, and again, I don't think this is the case. I really don't. But I'm just saying, if the only thing that's stopping you from being a good parent or not committing crimes is your fear of white people, that's racism, man. That's a wild take to say. Well, that was an interesting conversation, I guess. If you want a little bit more on why I've started having these conversations about Charlie Kirk, I recommend you go watch this video. It's exactly the reason why I opened the doors to talk to these people in the first place. So if you want more on that, click the thing. See you there.